Hi everyone, welcome to Sourcr's Q&A. Today we're actually going to be speaking with Sara Kaplan. Sara is actually an old colleague of mine. She's a content marketing specialist currently at Weploy, which is a HR and tech platform. Previously she's worked in B2C with Rebel Sports and is someone that I always go to for advice whenever we're looking to delve into the world of content and producing anything new. So it's great to have her here. Welcome, Sara.
Thanks, Julian. It's great to be here. Great to spend some time chatting about content.
Awesome. So we'll jump straight into it. And I thought it'd be worth mentioning, first of all, I know when I actually first ever met and spoke to you, I actually asked you what's your opinion on recruiters in general. Had you ever used a recruiter yourself? I actually thought I was pretty surprised by your response, but did you want to just chat about that a little bit first of all?
Well, yeah, it was, I think I got your backup, Jules, because I was very clear about the fact that I hated recruiters and I found them disingenuine and kind of out for their own personal gains. And I had a very, very negative view of recruiters on the whole because of the past experiences I've had with them. So it just highlights the importance of, personal branding and really being genuine with your efforts as a recruitment agency in terms of what you're putting out there in the marketing world.
Yeah, I think that's so important because every recruiter would know that, they've spoken to someone before who's, look, I don't want to work with recruiters. They've had a bad experience in the past. So you're always battling essentially what your fellow professionals as such are doing in the market as well. So being able to actually differentiate yourself from that is so important because often it does feel like you're starting on the back foot. In terms of, I guess, advice and tips for recruitment agencies, I know you've written a lot of content that's directed specifically, at the HR and talent profession, which is often what a lot of recruiters are targeting, but also to recruitment agencies as well. For somebody who hasn't actually done it before and got involved in it and doesn't have a content specialist like you, what would you suggest that they do, really to get started and to get going with it?
To get started with recruitment marketing, you've got to start with your personas, who you're actually talking to. You want to really do a deep dive into your set of personas. And that's obviously for a recruitment agency, it's going to be your potential clients and your pool of candidates. So you've got to understand who they are, their biggest worries, their needs, their requirements, their pain points, so that you can get really on point with your messaging to each of those personas.
And in terms of, I guess, a process of actually doing that, how would you actually go about doing that? Would you be asking your colleagues? Would you be researching online, etc.? And then would you actually be sort of writing that down and sort of creating an actual sort of a written down persona?
Yeah, there's a lot of techniques that go into developing your customer personas, but the first step, and it will be a combination of those things you've just mentioned, and along with speaking to them directly. Every time you do any kind of outbound calling, you need to be asking targeted questions and collecting your insights into who you're talking to. You can send out, there's plenty of free tools to use that you can use to, SurveyMonkey, Google Forms. You can send out surveys and questionnaires, and so that you're constantly doing that pulse check and gathering that research into who you're talking to and how the market's changing and how they're where they're hanging out, what they're consuming, what the trending topics are and keywords that you're going to be wanting to involve yourself in, the conversations happening that you need to be weighing into as an agency. So yeah, it's going to be a mixture of all of those things.
I guess one thing you mentioned there is actually sort of about where they're hanging out, and I guess that's obviously in person, but very much it's about online.
Yeah.
for myself and my background, I always was targeting, you know, HR people. That was the community I wanted to engage with. So I always knew that those people would be on LinkedIn. I guess, you know, one thing that I'll probably highlight is really important is you really have to think about where those people are. You know, you don't want to be putting loads of effort into LinkedIn content if, you know, there isn't any proof that, you know, the people you're targeting are actually there. Do you have any tips on sort of distribution channels?
Yeah, you've got to be really thoughtful and targeted and strategic with the channels that you're choosing to spend your time in. So, you know, obviously it would make sense that other recruitment professionals and talent professionals are going to be hanging out on LinkedIn. But the candidates, you know, that's active candidates or passive candidates, are they going, you know, it depends on your sector as well. If you've got kind of candidates, if you're looking for candidates, really top niche talent in the tech field or, you know, in health and wellness, for example, are they going to be really spending time on LinkedIn? You know, there's multiple channels to leverage these days. And so, you know, you want to be thinking about other niche kind of industry places to look for these people, whether that's Reddit channels or Slack groups. You know, there's plenty out there, even Instagram for candidates, I would say. They're all channels that you can use for your recruitment efforts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I guess it's sort of feeds back to that old example that, you know, Lamborghini don't do commercials, etc., because that's not where their target market is, sitting around watching TV. And I guess it's, you know, for recruiters, you've got to really think about where are, you know, your candidates, your clients, and really investing into, you know, those channels.
Definitely. The
so
beauty of COVID has made it easier though, because everything has obviously become online. So, you know, we're spending all day or every day on online. So there's multiple areas and opportunities for you to increase your touch points.
I guess that's why people, you know, it's a really good time to be investing more in your marketing, when some people are actually thinking of maybe pulling back a little bit.